My dear students, good morning to all of you. Today, we are going to discuss a very important and relevant topic, media, its influence and how to use it fruitfully. Let me start with an incident. It was a pleasant morning at school. The class teacher of the 5th standard had quickly finished with checking the attendance and homework as she wanted to begin a new lesson that day. She thought of introducing the new topic by asking the students a few questions. She asked them, "Do you know what the basic necessities of life are?" The students looked confused, as they couldn't understand what the teacher meant. Realizing this, the teacher continued, "There are certain things that we need every day and without which we cannot live. Do you have any idea what they are?" Then some of them started to nod their heads, saying, "Yes." "Can you name some of them?" continued the teacher. And she gave them a small clue. She said, "The answer has 4 words, and these words begin with A, W, F, and S." This time many hands were up in the air. The teacher noticed a girl sitting at the back of the class, raising her hands as high as possible to catch the teacher's attention. She asked her to stand up and say the answer aloud. The teacher was expecting a part of the common answer: air, water, food, and shelter. But to the teacher's surprise, the little girl blurted out, "A stands for Android, W for WhatsApp, F for Facebook, and S for Snapchat." The teacher remained speechless at the girl's response, while the rest of the class applauded their classmates' brilliant answer. Certainly, media and technology influence our daily lives beyond measure today. As a young girl spontaneously answered, "It would be difficult to imagine life without an Android phone or without the mobile apps that help us in numerous ways in our day-to-day interactions." The new social media has taken over the world scenario, so much so that it has even slightly modified Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, plus a social media overreaction. Hence, it would be beneficial to think about the influence of media in our lives and to focus on how it could be used in a more positive and fruitful way. Now, dear students, let us see the importance of media. Did you know that media is the plural word for medium? Media refers to the means or channels of general communication, information, and entertainment. From late 19th and early 20th century, the media world has undergone a drastic change. From photographs to radio broadcasts to television to internet and to new social media, today we have reached a phase where media rules the world and a new culture has evolved which makes us the sheep and media the shepherd. Undoubtedly, the major purposes of media are communication, information, education, entertainment, and development. And today, we need both media and technology to move on with our daily routines. The different types of media, print media, broadcast media, news media, social media, etc., help us greatly in our day-to-day life. In the beginning of the 20th century, media was more of a source of information, and the postmodern media revolves around the social media and the internet for entertainment, to talk with friends, and to get connected with people. Thus, an obvious imbalance in the use of media is clearly noticeable today. For many of us, media is just for entertainment. For some, it's only for communication. But how much do we use it for development and education? This should give us some food for thought. God Himself has set a balance in His creation and the life of the universe, and exhorts us to observe it in all our dealings, because balance is a criterion to attain what is right in belief, thinking, and action. Of course, I will be giving you an exercise at the end of the lesson with regard to the media that you are using daily, like TV, newspaper, Facebook, YouTube, Google, etc. And also, what is the purpose for which you use it? So that we will see later. Now let us see another important aspect of the media, misuse of media. Once, a man named Lee won 300 gold coins in a game. He was confused about what to do with this huge amount. So what did he do? He dug a hole in the ground, put the money in it, and covered it up. Then he wrote on a scrap of paper and stuck it onto the ground. It read, "Lee did not bury 300 gold coins here." Another man named Gao saw what Lee was doing. Immediately after Lee left, Gao went and searched the place. On reading what was written on the paper, he dug up the hole and took the coins. He then wrote on another scrap of paper and stuck it at the same spot. Gao did not steal the 300 gold coins. What media does to us today is something similar to the story. Like Lee and Gao leaving scrap notes many a time, media too leaves unknowing tips for crime, violence, and other social evils. The attractive and detailed description of the news and stories does make them impressive, but often they are untrue and negative. Tired of the negative news in the media, Dr. Abdul Kalam had once asked, "Why is the media here so negative? There are so many amazing success stories, but we refuse to acknowledge them. Why?" He gave directions to launch an e-paper, Million Bytes, which rendered positive stories from all across the globe. He even reminded the nation that true journalism is expressing the truth in an intelligible language for information, inspiration, and education, and it always aimed to vitalize the nation's ethics and values. Let us now see the immense power of the media. Napoleon Bonaparte, who had led France in a series of battles, rose to power during the French Revolution. His victory in most of the battles he had its light. Fought thus dominated over the European affairs for over a decade. He once said, "I fear the newspapers more than 100,000 bayonets." Such is the power of the media. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power, because they control the minds of the masses, said the famous human rights activist Malcolm X. Certainly, there is a great potential of the media. It can become a powerful resource for good if used to foster understanding between peoples, and a destructive weapon if used to foster prejudice and conflicts. We are well aware of how a single Facebook page has served as citizen interface to administrators, helping them to reach out to thousands of people, and how it has sorted out problems easily. Our times have also witnessed how the same social media has been misused by a den of pedophiles. Apart from linking and sharing, have you ever thought of using media for a positive purpose in society? Mahatma Gandhiji once said, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. If we desire to spread good news, good vibes through media, certainly we would be successful in finding out countless ways to use it for common good. When we meet the challenge of fighting and sharing, of mingling and mixing, or even stepping into a flood tide which is chaotic, we should be able to experience a genuine sense of fraternity and solidarity. And this would keep us moving beyond the obstacles. Hence, a wise decision that can be made would be to use media to impact people rather than to impress them. Now we shall come to something very practical. How to check the negative effects of media. The vowels A, E, I, O, U will help us to check the negative effects of the media. Number one, A, attraction versus addiction. The attraction towards media, especially towards the social media during teenage years, has already set off an alarm in our society. Studies say that 1 among 4 teenagers is online all the time. This addictive aspect of networking is associated with the fear of missing out the news or facts from others. The best way to keep ourselves away from this is to visit social networking site once per day, scheduling a time and keeping track of how much time we spend there. This would certainly help us to get over the temptations offered by the new media. Number 2, E, entertainment versus emotionalism. Recently, media psychology has come up with the fact that media entertainment has turned into an emotion media factory which highly erodes our emotional sensitivity. Thus, when we keep ourselves entertained through the media, we unknowingly heap unwanted emotions of anger, sadness, fear, violence, sexual arousal, taking delight in the suffering of another, etc. within ourselves, which would later get integrated into our real life, causing harmful effects. An advisable way would be to screen in the entertainment programs that we usually watch and to stick to the ones which offer us good values along with entertainment. Number 3, I, inspiration versus indifference. We are very well aware of the immense power of the media to inspire the public, but if it creates an indifference among people, especially in the sphere of politics, religion, ethics, or anything else related to the integrity of a person, community, or nation, it will be always wise to say no to it, and it's better to put off the fire before it spreads. Number 4, O, observation versus obsession. Media always helps us be watchful about the changes in our society. By faithfully bringing us the needful information, it helps us to be up to date with the world affairs. But even small deviations like celebrities' lifestyles, fashion trends, conspiracies and controversies could distract us from its right use. Our exposure or interest in them could even develop into a kind of obsession towards them rather than developing the needed vigilance and watchfulness. Number 5, unification versus utilization. Did you know the interesting fact that the media had played a major role in the unification of East and West Germany? There were exchange TV and radio programs to which both sides listened to, and this contributed much to its unification. Definitely, the media plays a prominent role in cultural and political unification of a human society. But if you are not vigilant about media bias, that is utilizing media to present distorted information to the public, it could easily result in the breakup of the society. As a conclusion, dear students might have heard the story of the fool and the donkey. In the story, we see two boys cheating a fool who bought a donkey. The fool rightly believed the boy, and he lost the donkey and made himself a fool. Similarly, if you are not careful, we too will be cheated and fooled by the media. Albert Einstein once said, "Small is the number of people who see with their eyes and think with their minds." If we keep our minds always open, welcoming everything from the world of media, like the man from the story, we would be ultimately making a fool out of ourselves and would be filling ourselves up with a lot of rubbish. Hence, a keen-eyed perception and a prudent judgment would be the essentials to live by in today's media culture. Media and technology are the great tools given to us to be agents of change. Let us take a pledge to focus more on the positive aspects of media and use it for the common good and foster values of truth, justice, and social harmony for all. Thank you, my dear friends, and I'll be giving you some questions for your assignment. Thank you. God bless you.